Hey guys, Cecil here once again. Hey, I wanted to do a video today about a game I'd recently played for the PSP called Corpse Party. Now, for those of you who have never heard of this game, and there's probably quite a few of you out there, I had only heard about the game last fall when Xseed Games announced that they were going to be publishing it in North America as a downloadable only title off the PSN, and I was interested in picking it up when it came out, but unfortunately I really didn't have a lot of memory card space left on my PSP. I've got like 3 different PSP memory cards, and I didn't want to go buy a whole new memory card just for this game. So I figured I'd just wait until the Vita came out, and then I would download it once I got a good sized memory card, and I could play it on my Vita. And like I said, I finally was able to download it, earlier this late last week, and I spent the last few days playing through it. And I'm really, really glad I did, because this is a really, really interesting and unique game. It's got a really good star rating on PSN, well over 4 stars, and I definitely can now understand why. To give you a little bit of a background history behind this game, it was originally developed in 1996. I think the company that developed it was called Gris. I'd never heard of them before. But they developed it using RPG Maker, and RPG Maker was kind of a software for PCs, and it was also released on the PlayStation and the PS1 and a couple different iterations that would basically kind of allow you to create your own 2D 16-bit style RPGs. And it was kind of developed as an adult title, a doujin game, and it was remade a couple of times, and this one of the remakes was put on the PSP in Japan that was released in 2010, although it was much more toned down, especially with the North American release. A lot of the adult material was taken out of it. And that's fine. I mean, like I said, if you like adult titles, more power to you, but this is really not the kind of game that I really think lends to that kind of a genre. But I mean, I can definitely see with the character designs and everything, the way the developers were going, but this game definitely does not need the adult content to stand on its own. The story itself is very, very dark, gory, and very interesting. If you're a big fan of like Japanese horror, especially stuff like Ju-on, aka The Grudge, you're definitely going to like this game. I kind of went into it. I watched a little gameplay and didn't really understand the story. They do a good job kind of explaining. Basically, you're kind of this group of high school kids, and you kind of do this chant, it's kind of occult kind of thing, and then you kind of get warped. Something goes wrong with the chant, and this group of 9 people gets warped into this other dimension kind of world that's like this this elementary school that was torn down 30 years prior. This game takes place in 2003, and they're back before their current school was built. There was an elementary school that were like this horrible murders had happened, and you kind of you get warped back you get kind of sent to another dimension, and you kind of gotta back to this old elementary school that's decrepit, dilapidated, and it's apparently a lot of other kids who have done this kind of occult chant have kind of gotten all sent to this other dimension kind of school, and they basically go insane, and there's a lot of different ghosts, and just very bloody and gory, and you kind of your characters in this group of characters has to try and find out what's going on. How did this school come to exist? How the hell are we going to get out of here? I don't want to spoil too much as far as the story goes, because I definitely would recommend, if you have a PSP or a Vita, and to download this and try it for yourself. The game itself is not overly long. It definitely does not by any means take really advantage of the PSP. Like I said, it was done in RPG Maker initially. This is kind of an enhanced remake. The best way I could describe it is kind of like a 16-bit kind of Japanese horror game. You kind of walk around in a grid. You can't walk diagonally. You can only walk up and down, left and right. And the graphics, like I said, the animation's okay for the character sprites, but you're not going to, like I said, it by no means really does anything with the PSP's hardware. But the voice acting, it's all in Japanese. There's no English track, but the translation was really well done by Xseed. And the voice acting is really, really good. I mean, I got to imagine a lot of the screaming a lot of these Japanese voice actors and actresses did. They probably lost their voice, because, I mean, there's some pretty horrific screams. It really just a great atmosphere. I mean, if you can get over the 2D graphics and everything, you don't need grandiose 3D for a dark setting, and can really just kind of get into the story, because this is the kind of game you don't play for the graphics, it's the story. And I can't recommend you maybe checking this game out enough. Maybe it'll go on sale here one of these days. It only came out. It was, like I said, it was released in 2010 in Japan, and it was released, I think, November of 2011 in America, exclusively on the PSN. It's also in Europe. And I know there's a sequel that was released in Japan to it, on the PSP. I forget what the subtitle to that sequel was called. But it would, if they ever bring that, if that version ever comes over and becomes available either on UMD disc or downloaded on PSN, which seems the more likely case, especially now with the Vita out, I will definitely be first day one to download it, because I really enjoyed, Corpse Party. It's definitely, again, you might remember my Xseed video from a couple of months ago. I definitely like the coming in. This game is definitely along the lines of them just bringing over these interesting and unique Japanese titles that a lot of us Western gamers otherwise probably would never get to experience. So especially if you're a big fan, like I said, of Japanese horror and stuff, definitely check this out. You definitely won't be disappointed, in my opinion. Like I said, the game itself isn't very long. You can probably beat it in under 10 hours your first playthrough. It's rather linear. There's a couple of times I had to go look through a walkthrough online. I got stuck, and you kind of gotta. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure style game. You kind of gotta go somewhere in the school to set off another event, and there was a couple of times I spent a good half hour wandering around. What the hell am I supposed to do next? But that's gonna come with any kind of game like this. So, and it really didn't detract from the overall game. That's what walkthroughs are for, if you get stuck. So, but yeah, definitely, like I said, if you got $20 burning on your PSN account and you want something different, you got a PSP and a Vita. It's about 550 megabytes to download. If you like, the voice acting is fantastic. The graphics, while not great, they're 2D 16-bit style, but there are a lot of anime style. There are a lot of frames of anime, hand-drawn anime, and everything that are in the game that kind of lend to the graphics and everything that help, with just the 2D and everything. But yeah, again, I definitely would recommend checking this game out. I also did pick up Mario Tennis yesterday, and I played through the Mushroom Open of this so far, and for the DS, and this is a lot of fun. I'm hoping to play this a little bit more, and I can do a review on this one next. And I'm also going to be getting Resistance for the Vita, which comes out, I believe, tomorrow. And that's going to be the first real big first-person shooter on the Vita. Just the graphics look fantastic for it. Like a lot of Vita games, it really takes advantage of the Vita. I'm not a huge first-person shooter guy, but I'm definitely looking forward to trying this, because I did like I played the first two Resistance games on the PS3, and I'm looking forward to trying this one out. So, but yeah, again, guys, if you have the chance and you like J-horror, definitely check out Corpse Party. Don't let especially if you like anime or you're a fan of Japanese horror, or even if you're not a big fan of either of that stuff, don't let that kind of stuff scare you away from this kind of game. If you like a really interesting and involving story and kind of a choose-your-own-adventure style game, it's definitely worth your time. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. You take it easy. I'll see you next time.